Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for December 30th, 2024 through January 5th, 2025. So, as we take a moment to just give gratitude, um, an appreciation for the year that is waning and the new year that is beginning. And this is going to be a really great opportunity for us to really focus on gratitude and focus on appreciation as profoundly as you can. I think one of the things that changed my life the most in quite a long time in an extraordinary way was when I was able to take my entire life story up to this point and to finally see it through a different lens, the lens of gratitude and appreciation. And when we're on the cusp of a new year in this way, we really want to make peace with what is and peace with where we are, no matter how you see it or how you think others view it. It's up to you to see the blessings and the opportunities that are available to you right where you are, and to accept that you're right where you need to be in order to step into the next great adventure of your life. And if there are any adventures that you've been sort of stuck in a place of wanting to the point where you feel a deep void within yourself, then it's time to shift your attention to what really is. And be aware that you might want to be somewhere else, but where you are is the most powerful place to be, no matter what's going on. Because every moment where you are is setting you up for that next big adventure in your life. And we have to realize that what we think of as a great adventure need not be what has been told to you it should look like, or that you should be thinking or comparing yourself to someone else's adventure. You got to see that you've been on the greatest journey of the greatest adventure of your entire lifetime. Whether you accept it or not the way it is, it can never be the way you would like it to be until you fully recognize with gratitude what is. And I know you heard me say this, earlier this year, and I've been saying it since the summer when it took the time to do it. And it's the feeling. So pay very much attention to the way you tell your story. Pay attention to the narrative of emotions that's driving the way you tell your story. And it's not that you're trying to negate how you feel, but there's another purpose, there's a bigger picture behind all of it, the feelings and what you see and the way you see it. And here's the most important thing, I think, and that is, if any part of your life would not have been what it has been or what it is, you would not be who you truly are in this moment. Whether you have given yourself time to recognize who you truly are and what you've become because of all of that has passed before you. Mistakes and celebrations and all, the whole gamut. When you understand that you really would not want to remove any part of it because you would not recognize yourself without them. You would not be the great expansiveness or the great expansion that you've become. Now, whether it is that you, again, do not recognize what that expansion is not the fault of the universe and not the misfortune of your own life. The only misfortune is the misunderstanding, the missing out on this cosmic understanding of where you are and who you are, and that you really needed to be where you are in order to go where you're going. And that's the part you don't know, but you don't need to know it in order for it to be ready for you. It is ready, but the only delay that I've seen through my experience was the lack of acknowledgement and appreciation and gratitude for where I was the entire time and all that it had caused me to become, and that without any of those components, I could not appreciate the value of the life I've lived, mistakes and all, celebrations and joys and successes and all. And the other, I think, unfortunate thing is that it's all based on not the connection from within, but it's all based on the comparisons, that external comparisons, that isn't about your journey, isn't about what your soul needs in order to help you to heal and grow into the full enlightenment or enlightened being that you're meant to be and that you already are. And you're just going through things that are helping you to access that, to bring those gifts forward. But the only resistance is in telling the story in a way that does not align with your truth. And when you finally experience that alignment of telling your story from the perspective of your truth, you are then immediately unleashed into what is truly yours, and it won't look like someone else's. And you're going to have the courage when you do receive it to be who you have always truly been, without apologies. Because that's how you continue to stand in the narrative of your soul's truth. It's 10:10 when I look down. That's interesting. Unusual configuration. You usually see like 11:11. Just look up 10 for a minute. And the angel numbers. And it says, God wants you to hold positive thoughts about this situation as everything is working out for your highest good. Call upon God to help you stay optimistic, as your thoughts are an influencing factor in the outcome. And just to think about that for a moment, because all of that was just what I was trying to say. But I don't want you to worry about your thoughts, because whatever your thoughts are, they're there for a reason. And the reason could be simple, just to make you aware that what you're thinking is causing you to feel a certain way. And that feeling and thought connection is shaping the way you view yourself and others. And it is also out of this that beliefs are developing and they're becoming more substantial. But it then brings us back to this component of understanding thought and emotion. And that it feels like there's something very relevant to this for us in the coming year. Because the 2025 seems as though it could be whatever you want it to be, or the way that you choose to exist. It might be an opportunity for us to understand that understanding of you are in the world, but not of it. That you are the reality, and whatever thought, emotional connection you focus upon or foster will become the reality and the sort of happenings that you will see take shape for you. There's a sense of that no matter how dire the bigger picture outside of you seems to be, or that it will be, that if you connect in with this 1010, this thought, emotion connection, if you tune into it, focus upon it, and re-narrate the thoughts into a pure understanding that will create positive, enlightened, and wise emotional connections, that you will attract to you out of this will spring forth and will attract to it a reality that doesn't seem to be moving in the same circles as the possible despair and bleak picture that others might be observing together and therefore attracting and creating for themselves. that your faith and strength, confidence in your intentional thought, emotional connection can not only shift reality for you, but can be such a powerful beacon of light to have great influence in supporting others, in joining you on that dimension of awareness. So, right now, as I was just thinking about, let's get into the energy of this week specifically, they showed me a parasol, almost like the little paper ones that you get, um, parasols, similar to ones that in the little margarita glasses or something like that. And this always, the umbrella like shape, has always represented protection and security, from the universe. And that it's sort of this paper folded kind of, umbrella, it gives me a sense of, um, something light. I have to say that first, as in the opposite of heavy, right? I don't know if this has to do more with, because and this is something that has like a color, right? So it's like, I don't know if it's sensed red or blue. Parasols. So there's something about working with color, light, and color therapy, whether that's placing shields around yourself or calling on specific guardians, angels, to place specific, um, orbs of light or protection of light around you. And it's something about, like, this type of umbrella is not going to be very efficient in blocking out light, right? We're not trying to block out the rain, we're not trying to block the sunlight. What we're trying to do is use the light of the sun to create color effects. And so you might need to work with a certain color to bring through, certain vibrational frequencies of healing. So make sure that you either tune into your angels to see what that is that you need, or if it comes to you, be sure every day to walk in some form of protection and light. And this does not mean that you need to be afraid of anything. This is really about bringing through color frequencies, codes, and keys that will help you sort of maintain a frequency or vibration of influence that can bring healing not only to yourself but to others. That gives a sense of resolving matters, healing matters, where this is it helps you to shift that narrative, and so that you really intentionally, when you're calling this light, you're also intentionally, um, drawing into your reality the elements that you need in order to walk into that next big adventure. You just got to remember that everything, good or bad, it's an adventure as far as the universe is concerned. And you've got to learn to appreciate it and enjoy it. And you would if there was nobody else that, looked like they were having a better time at it, you would not know that you weren't having a good time. You only think or believe that you're not because of the comparisons all around you. But if there was nothing else here but you and the earth, and you were going through challenges, you wouldn't think the way you think. If you were climbing a mountain and at first you were full of energy and then all of a sudden you became tired, or you broke something and you tripped and then you had to struggle to the rest of your journey, maybe you had to sit it out and you couldn't get where you were going, and so you feel like delayed. But at the same time, if there was none of these comparisons, you would say, well, I need time to heal. You would just accept it. That I need time to heal, and you would be focused on your body healing, and you would feel the connection because there's no distractions in the way. The comparisons and other influences to have input. It would just be you from the beginning to the end of the journey of life. And it really is this. It's not about everything and everyone else, although they are there and they seem to throw, what do they call it? Obstacles into your path but they don't. I just saw a video on Instagram, and a woman, I don't know if she's a psychologist or not, but it was a very interesting perspective about our emotions. And, someone a long time ago, one of my teachers said, the only relationship you're having is the relationship the only relationship you're having is the relationship with yourself. And the way this person said it was that the emotions that you think you're having about things that are happening out there, they're not about the things that are happening out there because they start with it in yourself. You are projecting that power to that thing, but you choose to feel that way about whatever it is. The thing and the people out there have no idea about how or why you feel the way you feel, nor do they care because they're in their own feelings. And I don't say that maliciously, it is just fact. They cannot care because they don't know what it is you're really feeling and why you're feeling it, because they're in the middle of their own relationship with self. And so when we choose to place the blame on somebody for causing us to feel that way, the only way that could be true is if they projected that feeling from themselves to you. But it's always the other way around. It starts from within you and out there and comes. And so you're projecting it and it comes back to you because there's nobody else but you who recognized it, created it, and is holding it. And so what it boils down to is that you're holding yourself in emotional patterns, in thought, emotion connections that we're calling, I guess, feelings. And as long as you keep feeling that feeling will become reality. Only person that can free the self from that is you, its originator, its creator. And when you do, through this process of gratitude and appreciation and retelling your narrative as if you understand and embrace that you couldn't have had it any other way, and you shouldn't want to have it any other way. And when you realize it just can't, you don't want it to be any other way. And I've been through some stuff that nobody would want to do. I've done, none of us wants to have gone through the things that we've gone through intentionally. But the moment I realized that I would not be the person that is speaking to you today, when I realized that with such gratitude and appreciation, I mean, if somebody paid me trillions of dollars to give up those life experiences, take it all away from me, and I could go on living with $1 trillion, I wouldn't do it. It's not worth it. Because just because I would have $1 trillion doesn't mean that I'm going to be happy if, in fact, my emotional landscape, my thought, emotional connection is always going to keep finding a way to go back to, feeling like we're missing out. So I might have $1 trillion, but can't find a true friend, right? And then I'll end up feeling lonely, and I'll be then perpetuating that connection with my $1 trillion. I can buy everything in the world, and I'm lonely. Because that is a feeling that I created. It's not because of, it's because of what I thought. I thought I couldn't find any friends. I'm just making the scenario up, right? Obviously. Or that I didn't have any. And that has to be because I believe that I need to be able to have people in my life that I can trust. When that's really all about, I don't trust me. That feeling and every thought connection, emotional connection can only come from you. It's your made up reality. Whatever it is you're thinking and feeling, you created that. And what resulting experiences you have is because of that. Because there are people in all the full spectrum of experiences that we could all possibly name, but there are all kinds of people on each one of those levels having a completely different kind of reality, thought, emotion, connection about it. There's some people who don't have all the privileges that life can offer them, and yet they found joy. Now, let's not get caught up in the idea that joy or these wonderful emotions are supposed to last, like without some kind of break. And that if there's a break, that you failed. It's not about that at all either. Because variety is really the spice of life. And so the only thing that you and I can do and be consistent about is being understanding, eventually appreciating, maybe compassion comes before that, and then ultimately choosing the narrative that's through the voice of our truth and enlightenment, the wisdom of our higher hearts and our souls. That's what you can ultimately do for yourself. All right, let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with for this week. And so, I'm doing this after 3, and it's probably approaching 4, and then, it gets dark early. So let me just, we can see right now, but I just try to brighten it up a little bit, and hopefully it won't, the exposure won't be too bad. Now we have Archangel Roquiel, who's also a seraphim, but he works um, in with the energies of hollow earth and grounding our energies into hollow earth. So it says, enter higher planetary service, be a blazing light. And I get a sense that right now, in this week and in the new year, we really need to be more grounded. We really need to do the things that roots us in our purpose. So really focusing maybe on your earth star chakra and really reaching down into that potential, that unlimited potential and purpose of the soul. That what you're here to do and be is what this year is really about. Whether that is that it will begin to unfold for you, and especially in particular, maybe in this week, that you'll have some grounded sense of who you are. Now, that's a big difference if you got to depend on the rest of the world to figure out who they are, to believe that your life and the world will someday be a place of peace. This is about knowing who you are and knowing what your purpose is. And I don't mean your purpose as in that way that we used to think about it, as in I'm lacking something, I'm missing something, or that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because what I am doing right now and where I am in my life is such a disappointment. That's what it means, what your purpose is. Your purpose is not this thing that you shoulda or should be or will be. Your purpose is where you are right now. Your purpose is how about showing up in your best potential, no matter where you are right now, no matter how much you like it or love it. Because you can have all the privilege at your disposal, but if you don't know who you're supposed to be in this moment and why all of this is being, and then who you are from a place of alignment and truth through that, then you're missing your purpose. Because it's not about the things around you, but it's about the reality, the narrative of the reality. Because if you're not in alignment with the narrative of your truth, then you are not going to be able to fulfill your purpose, meaning you're not going to be able to blaze your light, nor your potential. And your potential is not a selfish factor. It is a collective factor. Because as you know who you are in alignment with that truth, you truly blaze the light and you become a community or an access point for a community of light, of a higher vibration, of the highest reality. And that is when peace on earth will truly be anchored into the fiber of every cell and every consciousness on the planet here to fulfill that purpose of clarity and knowing in the midst of whatever mess is going on with you or what appears to be the mess of the collective. So work with Archangel Roquiel to ground yourself in your potential, the potential and the purpose of the moment, the reality that you've created, because you wouldn't have been allowed to create it if it didn't have worth, no matter how bad or messy or grand it is or great it is. None of those words matter. It's about there's always potential and there's always purpose. That's why you are where you need to be. You are wasting your energy believing you are a disappointment. All right, let's take a look at the cards. And they were laid from right to left. So this is really about focusing on the energies internally from your perspective, because the only relationship you're having is the relationship you're having with yourself. 10 of Cups. And this is really, we see this picture of this community. And this is a card of harmony and alignment and contentment, right? Because of the harmony, the unity, and the alignment. And this is asking you to, first of all, start acknowledging that in every situation, because it's there, even in the things that you dislike or detest, because you're there. It's that moment is a breakthrough opportunity for your potential and for really stepping in alignment with your truth and purpose. So really start thinking about yourself. And are you bringing, through your thought, emotional connection, are you really bringing harmony to yourself and to your community if you hold on to that deficit like way of thinking and feeling? Look for the fulfillment around you. Start looking for it intentionally. And if you can't find it, remember, it's not out there, it's within you. So then you got to ask yourself, how am I bringing myself to the table today? Because this is about how you show up and how you choose to show up, even if you have to fake it at first. But find purpose for yourself. Find something that gives life meaning for you. And they write play. Be playful. If you've been sort of really bogged down with really heavy emotions, allow yourself to play with this idea, or to be easy. They clarify it. Be easy with yourself. This is not an order, but this is just an adventure. I don't know why they just wrote the word news, but maybe take yourself away from that. If that's something that you feed into and that's also feeding your thought emotional connection, and especially if it's negative, that's just telling you that you're diminishing your potential and your purpose. We have the Page of Pentacles here. And it's so interesting that in my vision, before I started, because I was wondering if I should be working with a new deck, and I kept seeing something like this repeatedly, but on land. And it's interesting, this is sort of like a model of what I was looking at. Like I was looking at the real estate, and this is just a model of it. Now, that's interesting, because what if you have within your grasp the model of what you really want, the model of the idea, the template of the idea. And maybe this is a deeper message, a more direct message. Like, you have this template or the model, you know what you want, but you're not allowing yourself to have it because you keep focusing on lack instead of fulfillment. What you want is only a moment away. And the moment is really the moment that you are focused upon. Instead, the thought, emotional connection that you're feeding. It's about letting go of one moment and then embracing the other. So you go from having a model that you're holding and hoping that this might be yours, and you're trying to manipulate and figure out how to get it, when all you need to do is be fulfilled in where you are right now, and you'll transform a moment into a moment that's parallel emotionally to the one that you desire. And that will bring you to that or something better. Okay, now we have, the Nine of Cups. And it's almost looks like this is intentional, as that moment of it's like we're going back from the physical, and here in the physical is like we have the model, we don't have the thing we want, but it's bringing us back to the emotional pieces, um, so enjoyment and pleasure in your life. We were talking about that last week as a part of the practice. These are also ways, but you can't just like manufacture pleasure, or passion, if you keep holding on to that moment of reality that you just keeps looping. So know that your wishes can be fulfilled, and be open that they could be something that you might not quite expect. And it's interesting here, he's smoking a pipe, and a younger man, and he's just looking up at him, and is in this very comfortable bar setting, and it's something that he has access to. He has access to whatever he needs, and this young man is not there, but he's inspired. He's using this opportunity to see this person who inspires him to want to believe and aspire towards what he wants for himself someday. So he's recognizing, he's kind of looking at that model. And in a way, the connection here is, I'm doing what I got to do right now in order to prepare me for what I believe is my destiny. And so I'm gonna do what I do with joy, because I know where I'm truly focused. I'm not focused upon him in a way that's making me feel bad, but it's giving me hope. So he's telling a whole different narrative to himself than possibly the one that you might be telling yourself if you're one who's in this situation. All right, so I've already pulled the card from the bottom of the deck, and it's a Two of Wands, and this has come up before in the same position. So we don't have an older man, and when I see a neck nude, I think of authenticity, being yourself, without doubt or shame, and he's standing on that pedestal, that gold pedestal, and he's, has these palms that he's waving as almost sort of in a victory manner, confident manner. It seems like there's something tied around the waist, and there's someone over him, and I've noticed that a female figure holding a globe. And that reminds me one of Mother Mary, but it also reminds me of a guardian angel or the universe that is holding that dream for you until you are ready to grow into it. And the path that you're going through right now is going to help you to grow into that. That's why you need to appreciate it. And so this card gives us a sense that the world is already yours. The way you're living it right now is because of that thought connection component, right? It's the reality that you're living. But this card reminds us, I never noticed it behind now because I only see the front, that the universe, no matter what's going on with you, they're holding it for you. That and many other things that you deserve. And the challenges that you're going through, the choices, the two, and trying to figure out how to balance yourself and your life and through your choices. And whatever challenges come up through that, that's all preparing you for it. So you're on the right path, no matter what. Everyone is. That means that everything that's going on out there right now that looks crazy is what it needs to be in order for our journey together to really truly be fulfilling and ultimately leading to a world of peace. Trust. Have faith. And God bless you. And have a beautiful new year, a beautiful week, and a prosperous and fulfilled blessings of every desire that you have ever had. And they just wrote the word destiny in front of me. And so I feel like this is going to be a year where you have a greater sense of your destiny. God bless you.